This is Granblue Fantasy Relink, and this is the actual anime alternative to Monster Hunter. It's also the game that truly went from an absolute masterpiece
I did it!
to, well, this.
No, I was so close!
The Platinum Trophy for Granblue Fantasy comes in at a 5 out of 10 difficulty and an estimated time of 80 to 100 hours. As per usual, we have a story to complete, we've got some collectibles, and then we'll be spending 30 to 40 hours preparing and fighting one single boss. The game opens up to the gang already gathered and they're talking about getting closer to finishing up their goal, or whatever that means. Shortly after this, we're attacked by some monsters which basically just acts like a tutorial on how to push square and triangle. So now that we've mastered the combat of the game, what else is there to do other than summon the most powerful being you can to deal with the rest of the birds? We summon Bahamut? For birds? We summoned Bahamut for birds? But this is an anime game, so in true anime fashion, a glowy purple icon appears and corrupts him, forcing him to attack us.
Uh-oh.
After a rather long and confusing fight, we get our first trophy.
First trophy. The Forgotten Sky.
Chapter 1 starts out with Gran and Lyria waking up in the forest below from the fight with Bahamut. By the power of anime plot armor, we survive the massive fall and we walk it off. After some yapping and roaming, we're attacked by some dogs and then our first real monster, Quakerdile. The fight serves as a tutorial to show us the more complex mechanics of combat, the first being chain bursts. But remember this for later, chat.
Transform.
With that fight over, we head to the nearest town where we're introduced to the material vendor, a blacksmith, the quest boards, and then finally the side quest givers that are just scattered around the city.
Oh, I can do this. Hey! I tried to help.
Once I was done lollygagging around, I jumped into a random job board quest to hunt down some goblins. Now during these quests, I combo linked enough times to create slow-mo modes, which actually gave me my third trophy. Then shortly after this, I filled up this gauge, and I did my transform attack, but the whole party followed.
Full burst. Woo!
When I level up in this game, I'm going to receive mastery points to make my character stronger. Simply unlocking my first node got me my next trophy.
Road to mastery.
We end this chapter back on the airship, but this time we have a new friend, Roland. But we finished the chapter.
Ooh, the Western Frontier.
That was chapter 1. Chapter 2 begins and we make our way towards a gusty mine island that's been taken over by some goblins. And it's our duty to go and save them because we're heroes. Or whatever. It was at this point that I'd spanned 50 skills in battle, again just like a hero, for another trophy. I was messing around with the menus and realised I could actually change my characters. So I picked the only mage in the game and was met by this child. Great. Part of her kit is that she can burn, freeze and paralyze enemies. Goblin Madbeat was the victim for my 20th debuff.
Deluge?
Finishing up this fight, we'll get our trophy for finishing chapter 2.
Tempest on the horizon.
After killing the goblin captain, we move further into the mine for the next chapter, and we finally find out what the source of the windstorm is.
That's cool. Was this Hecarim?
Furicane is our introduction to primal beasts. These are basically just powerful beings of a particular element. Since this guy is the beast of wind, we battle it out in an arena full of hurricanes and zoomies. With Hecarim defeated, we find the true villains of the game, the Three Musketeers, and one of them being Sephiroth with Cloud Sword. After getting absolutely rinsed by Sephiroth, it's at this point we find out the true story of the game. Waifu Lilith needs Lyria to open up a big spooky portal, and our only hope is Vaughn. Never mind. The chapter finishes with Lyria being taken and we're left to rot in the dirt. We're now in chapter 4 and we wake up back in the castle in town with Lyria still missing. But the group is still alive and well and we agree that no matter what, we're gonna get her back. At this point, we've regressed through the story enough where we unlock weapon uncapping, giving us even more power.
No cap. Sheesh.
Talking to Zero gives us our first crewmate voucher to unlock a new character, and that I did.
I get a new freaking character. Hell yeah. Ah, regret. Regret.
I figured out how to communicate with myself, thinking it could be a trophy.
It's all about communication. Using the mode.
You want more backstory to every character? Well, good news. There are fates for each character, which are just conversation records fleshing out backstories. With all of that out the way, we get back onto our airship to chase down the red ship containing Lyria. But the enemy is way too smart for us and they send reinforcements to dock onto our ship just to slow us down. So our goal here is to board these annoying ships, take out their engines, and then get back onto our own ship just to chase down Lyria once more. Eventually they decide they've had enough and they send Captain Galanta after us and we have our first showdown. This fight isn't too bad as long as there is enough dodging and weaving of his giant spear attacks, but then during this fight I managed to break him enough for a trophy.
Whoa, give me something to break.
But Galanta wasn't done, so we kept up the fight and I got another combat related trophy for bursting 10 times. After hurling my last blast, Galanta finally had enough and that would conclude chapter 4. In chapter 5 we head to Latanya Island, which is covered in a blizzard and giving us a huge indication that we'll hopefully be fighting Shiva, or probably some other frozen primal beast. This is by far my least favourite level. There are a lot of moments where you're literally just sat here defending a lady to open a door with ritual magic, causing a massive slowdown in gameplay. Not a fan. This level also has a lot of hidden chests which I came to find out is a requirement for the Platinum Trophy, but I did find 50 here, so a win is a win. Once I filled my pockets, I moved on to the next room and I finally caught up with Lyria, but now she's got some mysterious purple glowing necklace around her and she summons Fenrir. Then she fucks off with Id holding her. Wait a second, what? We're now fighting the second primal beast, Managama, and this fight consists of ice beams, homing ice shards, and an instant one-shot blizzard. With him defeated, we go back to chasing the princess in a different castle. Womp womp. With chapter 5 done, we unlock our second and final main hub, Seed Hollow. This holds the rest of the side quest spawn and chests we need for a later trophy. To keep up with the difficulty spikes, I made sure to keep upgrading my weapons as I went, but at this point, money is quite scarce, so I sold 10 sigils. With housekeeping done, we move on to chapter 6. We get a tip here that there is a remote hidden deep in the desert that will destroy the necklace control in Lyria. So, to the desert we go. Once we're in the desert, there are 4 runes scattered around that we have to step on in order to activate. Now all 4 are actually protected by a boss. So first we start with the Griffin, then we move on to the Skeleton King, and then finally the Rock Golem. With the pillar raised, we go and collect our new device, but sure enough, Magliel the Lalafell arrives to stop us. Just like Galanta, it feels like she's only able to use 2 or 3 abilities that are all easily dodgeable, so it's just all about not being greedy in this fight. Before we're able to finally nuke her, she and her little minions blow up the rock cube and it summons this big fucker. So let me introduce you to our next primal beast, Excavilion. Again, another annoying boss simply just due to the non-interactive abilities he throws at you. Our first step is to disable his legs. With his legs out, we're able to slide down his back like a little slide, and now all we have to do to disable him is take out his spinal cord, obviously. So we just nuke this and then the battle is mine.
We're playing, we'll just go to practice.
I'm in between chapters, so I unlock a new character and take him to the training mode for trophy number 22. Chapter 7 sends us to the final elemental primal beast of the game, which happens to be in a volcano. After a short trek, we run into it.
Imagine they call it Ifrit.
Oh. So yep, Lyria is stuck in Ifrit, and it seems concerned. So we chase Vulcan with Id in an attempt to save Lyria, and this big lad doesn't stop until we finally get to the core of the volcano. It calls a temporary truce and we begin our true fight with Vulcan. Vulcan remains one of the easiest primal beasts since he's pretty much stuck in the mud. There's a lot of lava dodging and then firing more schoolgirl spell blasts. Vern jumps in a little later into the fight to try and release Lyria, but no, of course, that would be way too easy. So we crack on with the rest of the fight with Vulcan until he's finally had enough.
I didn't deserve that kill.
It thanks us, and then finally Mummy turns up, and we finally get to go toe to toe with Lilith. It ends up being a short fight, well, because...
What? Warning signs.
We head back to Seed Hollow with new information that Roland knows Lilith. And Lilith's plan is to summon a powerful being called Angra Mainyu, which is sealed away in the depths of the castle. Before I can even sneeze, Seed Hollow is attacked by Lilith and her army, and as we know, her plan is to release Angra, so we must stop her at all costs. With the peons down and in the depths of the castle, we get ambushed by this fake-ass Gundam who becomes an integral part of getting the Platinum Trophy. With the Teiyu fight, there's really not too much to talk about. It's a simple fight, he goes down fairly quickly, we move on.
Well, this is a boss fight.
And of course, I was right. A boss fight it is, but this time, it's both at the same time. This fight is fairly similar to the one that we had beforehand, we just have to deal with them both at the same time.
Boom.
With 2 of the 3 ding-dongs down, we finally make it to the base of the castle and we're met with Lilith and Id yet again. With a new resolve, we're finally able to fight Id on an equal level. Until 50% at least. And then I'm immediately jealous.
Is he a demon? He can transform? Oh god. I will survive. Okay, 50 potions. Sure.
And now, finally, Id has had enough.
Oh!
Now that Id is defeated, we run into the rift and we find Lyria just laying there and Roland having his Dragon Ball Z moment. With Lilith weakened, we finally get the reveal of Angra Mainyu. And I'm not impressed at all. With the big demon released, there is no hope. And I just sit here and watch each of my party members get sucked up into the Shadow Realm. And with that, our final hope, the captain, certain for death. Until Id decides to have a change of heart, with his goal to protect Lyria, which gives us a time to tap into our true power.
That Bahamut's cool as hell.
Everyone is saved!
Relink.
Praise!
Complete chapter 8.
Oh.
She's still very cool. That's bad.
And that's chapter 8 concluded. After all that drama, I took a quick 30 seconds to get my next trophy for selling materials to acquire a total of 100,000 rubies. Anyway, so the gang decides to take the airship towards the rift that Lilith created, but on the airship I picked up my 30th archive entry for trophy number 28. We finally arrive upon the Pillar of Voyoi, which is essentially a broken shattered pathway heading into the sky. We head into the first circle.
Boss, gotta be a boss fight.
Yep, we get our fight against Furicane all over again. There's actually nothing new with this fight other than it's purple. And we get some help.
Hell yeah.
We'll talk later. Revenge comes first.
I took the opportunity here to totally on purpose get this.
There it is, field minute.
Revive 5 allies. With Furicane down, we get to our next fight, Purple Fenrir. With yet some more help, Galanza.
Ooh, let's go.
We get to the next area, and I won't pop quiz you here, chat, but we get another primal fight with more help yet again. But this time from my favourite Lalafell.
Macliel.
With all of the primals down, finally, we get to confront Lilith one last time.
Like, find me a girl like her.
So we finally get to fight Andra, and she's it. She is mostly immune and phased out throughout the whole fight, until we're able to jump in and out of rifts, which will make her vulnerable. That's really the fight. There's nothing too bad about it, but it's so easy. There has to be a second phase, right? Right?
Lilith, you're a bitch. I refuse to believe this is it. Refuse.
For a fraction of my soul, I'll buy all your death. If you had only submitted, it wouldn't have come to this.
The power of friendship.
Look at how you've united the sky. It's time for us to join as one. The world rests in our hands.
The fight, although Lilith has combined with Anger, feels the exact same. The only difference is now there is a one-shot mechanic if you don't meet the DPS check, which we do.
If that KO there right there with the moon. Let's make it really anime. Complete chapter 9.
And so, we're done.
Now that is anime.
It's over now. Please, no more bloodshed.
Her name is Bahamut.
Or is it?
Does make sense.
And so, we head to our final destination to confront Bahamut Versa.
Look, chat, we've come so far. Oh, now that's a scream. Look at this guy.
Bahamut Versa is the final boss of the main story, and they really went out their way with this one. They ramped up the cinematics, the backstory of it being the evil Bahamut, the blessings the music is bestowing onto our ears, and lastly, the difficulty. This boss is no joke. To prepare you for the endgame, they've introduced 2 DPS checks, which, if you don't do enough damage, Bahamut will simply obliterate you like we're playing bloody Yu-Gi-Oh! After getting Bahamut weak enough, it will pop out, causing us to fight him in its ramped up demon form.
Unless my eyes
Holy shit, this is a cool fight.
id under.
Then, with id defeated, Bahamut is weak enough for us to nuke him, and at sub 15%, he begins his one-shot DPS check. And I didn't know this at the time, but this burst move that I did here saved my run, or else I'd have to do this entire 10-minute fight all over again.
That was very cool. That was a sick experience for sure.
Primeval dragon.
Every time we summon Bahamut for ourselves, it just dies.
My name is...
I mean, come on. Good game. Very good game.
Bahamut is defeated, but Roland is lost in the void. And that is Granblue Fantasy Relink.
Ends of the skies, where the stars reside. Someday, we will reach Estalucia.
Fun game. Fun game. There it is. Id.
Okay, that's enough of the story. Let's get some trophies. In the post-game, the focus is all going to be on the side mission board, which acts very similar to the one in Monster Hunter. We essentially have to complete every single side mission in order to increase our difficulty rank. These missions can range from simply killing a group of goblins to defeating Galander or even a primal beast. In these side missions, you'll receive materials and sigils which are required to further increase your character's power. The game will also grade you representative of a letter which will increase said rewards. Got it? Good. My 30-second trophy was for buffing my team, which just came naturally, so I wasn't too bothered about that. And then I finally finished my first side mission with an S++ rank for yet another trophy. Do you remember Fates from the start of the game? Well, once you've hit level 60 with that character, you unlock their epilogue, and completing that gets us this bad boy. Our pirate friend Zafpa has now become a vendor, and at the end of nearly every single mission, you're going to get an item called a curio. These are items that Zafpa will appraise and is going to give you the item back. If you're lucky enough to get the War Elemental sigil, then congrats, I suggest going to buy a lottery ticket. Remember Chain Bursting? Well, they're back 100 times. Let's take a quick second to remember our man, Roland. Just kidding, let's go save his ass.
Complete chapter Alpha? Omega? Omega, probably.
Anyway, where were we? My next goal was to hit level 100, and I did this in a mission called Slime Pete. There is a rainbow coloured slime pot which is extremely rare. Some people saw them on their first attempt, some people saw it on their 40th, some even on their 150th. Me? I don't know, it was in my log, so we move. Push it to the limit. My next 4 trophies are from the story modes, and they're optional challenges for you to do when you're doing the story. I just happened to miss them on my first go around. So in chapter 4 there are 2 trophies that I missed. One of them is for shooting at a barrage to stop it from hitting the ship. I just used the charged cannon shot to make that happen. The last one in chapter 4 was for destroying all of the enemy canyons on the 3 ships that tried to board you. In chapter 8, when you finally get control of Bahamut, you have to defeat Engra without taking any damage. On easy mode and doing it on max assist modes, this is really easy. You just keep spamming the dodge attack. This is an absolute joke.
There it is. Shard of darkness and flame.
And then finally, in chapter Omega, when you control Bahamut again, you have to take 0 damage. Again though, with the easy mode and the full assist, you'd have to be asleep in order to hit anything.
Primal dragon.
That was quite easy. I was nervous, but it was easier than I thought it was going to be. In the intro I spoke about collectibles, and at this point I thought all I had to do was to get the 20 crabs needed for this trophy. Boy was I so wrong. There's a trophy for doing 999,999 damage during a burst attack, and I found this to be very buggy as I'd hit this multiple times, but I just happened to get it randomly super late into the game. When I hit certain milestones within the story, I unlocked a key to open a big chest within the main city. These are in the form of white, gold and blue keys. I finally got the gold key to unlock my final chest within the city. Ascension weapons are going to be your second best in slot weapon that you can get in this game. They can be upgraded a total of 10 times, but require a lot of endgame rare materials dropped from bosses on the Maniac difficulty. You only have to ascend the one weapon for this trophy. Eventually, I got to the real wall of the game, the mission that everyone rushes to Reddit for aid, and that is of course, Bahamut versus on the Maniac difficulty. Not only is this fucker hard, he has more health, he has got insane damage output, and then he has even harsher damage requirements. I had to look up nerd spreadsheets, character build guides on what sigils to use, and I even went back and upgraded my Ascension weapon to an 8 out of 10. I also got advice that if you use your burst attack at the right moment during their ultimate attack, it will actually pause the timer that will one-shot you and end the mission within a cutscene. After 4 attempts, I finally got him, and man was I happy.
Wings of destruction!
Fuck you! For the trophy, the ultimate is going to require you to play through the story mode again, but on the ultimate difficulty. Every single boss and even monster starts at least in a level 100, so they hit harder, they've got way more health, it's just mostly a pain. The only boss that took a little while was just Fenrir, everyone else not too bad. With nearly all of the side missions done, the game is complete on Ultimate, and I've collected all of the crab pincers I could. I was rewarded with enough tokens to unlock every single character, which is something I should have left for the second to last trophy, and you're gonna find out why. With every character now unlocked, I can do all of their fate quests, which as a reminder is just chat dialogue about their backstory. So this was technically my next trophy, but I'm going to include it into the very last trophy I got for the platinum, because well, you'll see why. So instead, I'm going to show you this. There are 110 side quests for you to complete in this game. This can range from handing over some materials to killing monsters so many times, or bosses, but the most annoying thing with this trophy isn't the number of quests, because there are a lot, but some won't even spawn until you've done a prerequisite quest. Just unneeded. And now for the Mac Daddy trophy, the trophy that actually made me go from absolutely loving this game to absolutely hating it. I'm thankful there won't be any DLC for this game because I will not be playing it. I'll be so thankful to delete this off my hard drive. And that trophy is Reminiscence, to fill every fucking field note in Dickhead's journal. To fill her journal, you have to unlock and see every character in the game. You have to fight and kill every foe in the game, which includes this little nugget that no one seems to be able to find. You have to open every treasure chest in the story, which is 176 of them. Obtain 4 right stones, which you get automatically, so it's actually not too bad. And finally, acquire 114 weapons in the game. Not so bad, right? What's 114 weapons? Well, you're right, since 96 of them you can just craft at the blacksmith, but the other 19? Oh, well for that you just have to fucking kill Bahamut Proto over and over and over and over again. The drop rate for these weapons are said to be 1 in 5. And I'm used to grinding, trust me. I've got the Path of Exile Platinum, I've played RuneScape, I've played World of Warcraft. But the problem with this grind is that the party system in this game is so goddamn awful, it makes you think no one's playing this dogshit game. I mean, look at this. You could power your NPCs up, but they don't even get in the cannons for the main mechanic of the game. Plus, that's going to take you an additional 20 to 30 hours just to get the sigils to do that. But
Carried away.
I did it! I did it! Fucking hell. The weapons in the end took me about 15 to 20 hours, simply just because I couldn't get into a full lobby of 4 people, and then sometimes when I would, the damage was so low we couldn't even kill him. But eventually, I did it. I beat Granblue Fantasy Relink, and I'm so thankful for it. Platinum Sky! Oh, thank God. Thank God. I don't even feel good. So please, if you liked what you saw, subscribe for more. Thank you.